This video is brought to you by UNBOUND. Want to do college better? Get UNBOUND today.
There's an old story about a group of Hebrew slaves traveling across a desert. After being liberated from their bondage in Egypt, the Israelites started their journey towards a new home, a land flowing with milk and honey promised to them by their God. But without GPS, a map, or even a compass to give them direction, it wasn't long before this company of ex-captives found themselves completely lost. Just one chapter into their trip, God's people were wandering in the wilderness. Now, I don't know about you, but in my life, I've had my fair share of wandering. I've had countless seasons where I felt totally lost. Lost in my relationships, lost in my work, lost for a purpose, a future, even lost in my faith. Like, no matter how hard I try to listen to God's voice, I hear no direction. There's nothing more frustrating than feeling like you're being faithful by following God's call, but then God's leading leaves you lost. And the more we wander, the more we feel lost, the more we start to wonder, did God lose me? At some point along the way, did God stop leading me? Did God stop loving me? Does God still care? Is He still there? Or am I just wandering in the middle of nowhere? At some point, each and every one of us has felt lost, or that God lost us. And it might sound surprising, but the characters of the Bible are no different. In the beginning, man and woman were banished from their home with God and left to wander east of the garden, lost. Abraham received a promise from God that he would establish a great family. But as a man at nearly 100 years old, he was completely lost as to how that could actually happen. Noah built an ark, prepared for a flood that would last 40 days and 40 nights. But no one ever talks about the 150 days after that, when Noah and his family wandered on the ocean that used to be the earth, waiting for God to show up again. Moses wandered from a palace of comfort to a desert of confusion. Daniel wandered from freedom in Jerusalem to chains in Babylon. Jonah wandered from the bow of a ship to the belly of a fish. Name one biblical character who was not at some point lost. The disciples were lost in the middle of a storm. Cleopas was lost on the road to Emmaus. The prodigal son was lost, squandering his wealth in a foreign land. And even Jesus felt that God had left him behind. My God, why have you forsaken me? He cried from the cross before being lost to the darkness of a tomb, never again to be seen, heard from, or prayed to. But here's a question for you. When it comes to all of these stories, when it comes to all of these people, what if God didn't lose them? What if God was just getting ready to use them? What if God allowed them to seem lost for a while, all so that they and those around them could finally be found in Him? Because that 100-year-old man became a 100-year-old father. And Father Abraham had many sons. No, God wasn't done. God sent a dove to help Noah and his family finally find the shore. And what's more, they established a new home for themselves and all of creation that would never again be destroyed. Moses may have lost his castle, but he found his calling. Daniel and Jonah felt lost, but it led to a king and a nation finding God. You see, lost is not the end of the story, because the Israelites found the promised land. But more importantly, they found God first. The disciples found God in the waves. Cleopas found God on the road. The prodigal son found God in the exact place where he left him. And Jesus Christ did not lose to death. He was just getting ready to use death as a tool to defeat the evil of sin so that you and me and anyone who has ever felt lost in all of history could finally be found in Him. Is it possible that while you have been off searching for home, home has actually been searching for you the whole time? What if God didn't leave you? What if God didn't lose you?
Hey friends, thank you so much for watching. I wanted to let you know that today's video is brought to you by UNBOUND. What is UNBOUND, you ask? It's a better way to do college, that's what. Using UNBOUND, you can save a bunch of money and time on your bachelor's degree. They allow you to start school online and then graduate from nearly any school you want. Schools like Alabama, Penn State, UCLA, Liberty, Texas A&M, and more. These schools actually allow you to transfer the credits that you earn with UNBOUND in order to help you complete your degree. So head on over to getunbound.org/John to get a free estimate and see how much you can save today. As for right now, that's all for this video. I would love to hear what you thought of this video in the comments section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram @Jon Jorgenson. I'll see you soon for another video. I love you all. Keep being awesome.